Hi there, Mark from Sound Matters with another video, and in today's overview we're going to go through the VMP Classics subscription box. So just the other day we went through the VMP Essentials range, which is kind of must-have albums from across the years and multiple genres, but the Classics subscription is specifically focusing on blues, jazz and soul records. So we've got the Classics subscription box here that's just arrived in the mail. I'm excited to open it and see what this is all about as well. So just for those of you coming in fresh here, I'm just going to give you a very quick overview before we get started of the different subscription boxes available from VMP. So just the other week we covered the core range, which is the Essentials. So check out our video overview, full video review and unboxing of that particular subscription box if you want to see more details of that, but keep a broad open mind for this because it covers all genres and eras. So you're going to discover new music, hopefully you're going to find things that you hadn't considered picking up at a record store before. Really great way to discover new music, but if you don't like a particular month's option you can swap it out before it gets shipped to you as well, so there is that flexibility still. But what if you have more specific tastes, or what if you want to get more into a specific genre, you want to explore a particular category of music? Well, then there's the category specific options such as the Classics one, which we're going to cover more today, and that covers, as it says here, the best soul, blues and jazz. But there's also a hip hop option and there's also a country version. Perhaps we'll go more into those in future videos, but today we focus on classics. But you do have those options when you subscribe. It doesn't have to just be a broad genre discovery thing. It can be a specific exploration of a new genre of music that you're trying to get more into. But anyway, without further ado, that gives you an overview of what's on offer. Today we look at the Classics range, so let's get to unboxing that, shall we? So, Lost Sounds Found. It's all about discovery, of course, and today hopefully we're going to discover a great record, which I'm just going to open up right now. So just like our Essentials package, we have this bonus sticker which has been designed by a VMP member, so a little bonus there. And the record itself is King Curtis live at Filmore West, which is a really interesting album. I was just checking out some of the blurb on the VMP website about it before this, and apparently it was recorded as part of Aretha Franklin's landmark stand at Filmore West, which is a pretty legendary show where she was rubbing up more against audiences that maybe were more rock orientated, and so it was a really interesting show for her. And so when it came to selecting the saxophone player, she could think of none other than King Curtis, who was a legendary saxophone player who managed to span several genres, but he did play a lot of her classic hits like Respect, for example. So really flexible, really super legendary saxophone player who was able to span multiple genres and play on multiple people's records, but of course was a musician in his own right. And this is his performance at Filmore West. So this should be a really interesting record to discover. I'm discovering more jazz and soul now. I grew up in a much more rock orientated household, so exploring jazz and exploring soul music has been a bit of a journey for me over the last few years, and so I'm excited to hear what this record's all about. Of course, we have the hype sticker here, which gives us some of the details of what we can expect in terms of the quality. So we're cut from the original analog tapes here. This is an AAA recording, and it was done by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. And we also on 180 gram black audiophile vinyl, so it's nice to see as well. Should be a nice quality pressing this from the original master tapes, which is great. We've also got included a liner notes booklet as well. So I'm going to unzip this packaging and then we'll unbox the record as we normally do. So yeah, great to see so far though, and I'm excited to explore this this great record. So just like our Essentials range, we have this paper insert here that gives us the backstory of the record we're about to experience. It tells us that it's all connected to Aretha Franklin's 1971 show at the Filmore West, the famous Filmore West show there. And so that gets us started straight away. And then we have the record itself, which is a lovely gloss finish gatefold on really nice heavy card. Actually really feels nice substantial print. Open it up here, and of course it's a gatefold, so we've got some of our liner notes down the side here. The record itself, we'll just pull that gently from the sleeve here, and we're into a nice polyethylene archival quality sleeve. So rather than those cheap paper sleeves which are no good for protecting the record, this is a nice anti-static sleeve which will protect the record for the long term. None of that issue of kind of, the record clinging to the paper, or paper flakes and things like that can cause little micro scratches on the record surface. This is a much better way to store the record and to look after it for the long term, make sure it lasts a lifetime. So also in here as a little bonus and specific to this VMP release of this record is the liner notes booklet that have been written by one of the team members here. So I can sit back, I can pour myself a nice cup of tea or coffee, or if it's later in the evening, I can pour myself a nice little craft beer. I can open these liner notes and I can discover what this record's all about. This is all about music discovery. I'm discovering an artist that's new to me. It might be older music, but this is all about expanding your horizons and learning about the story of the record, and this is a great way to tell it. You can see here from the booklet, this is all very well nice put together. We can sit back, chill out, enjoy this music and really delve into it. So what do I make of the music on this VMP Classics edition? Well, King Curtis live at Filmore West is full of virtuosity from start to finish. If you're looking for an introduction to one of the greatest saxophone players of all time, whose solos you will undoubtedly have already heard, this stunning live album is the perfect place to start. It's easy to understand why King Curtis was so admired by his musical soulmate Aretha Franklin, and yet also in such high demand across rock and roll circles. Curtis seamlessly blends jazz, soul and rock to win over even the most dyed-in-the-wool rocker, helped of course by the skillful execution of covers by the likes of Led Zeppelin. A more able band you could not find, which is plain to hear from the get-go. Curtis gracefully introduces his band, the Kingpins, one by one on the album's opening track, Memphis Soul Stew. Each musician takes their moment in the spotlight with a blinding solo that sets the tone perfectly for what I would describe as a musician's album. Live at Filmore West was the Kingpins' time to shine, and shine they certainly did. So there you go, another one of my skinny reviews of a VMP release there. I really did enjoy this album. It's such a musician's album, as I say, superb introduction to such a legendary saxophonist. Somebody I've heard on countless records before, but never in this light. So I really did enjoy the whole album from start to finish. But what about the quality of the pressing and the product itself? Well, this is the second time we've reviewed a VMP release. I'm happy to say that the quality is certainly there. Clearly a lot of detail goes into these releases in terms of hand selecting the best cutting engineers and making sure that the printed and final press product feels like a premium experience, and this is certainly no exception. And while you don't have the kind of coloured vinyl aesthetic that you had with the VMP Essentials release that I reviewed last time, it's certainly, as they describe, an audiophile pressing. It's on black vinyl, which some people prefer in terms of the audio sound quality, although coloured vinyl is very, very good these days. But this is certainly an audiophile pressing. It's been cut very well, it's mastered very well, retains all of the dynamics. It's come from the original master tapes, which is fantastic. If those tapes are still in great condition and they can still produce a great result from them, then it's a lovely way of having an all analog experience. It's absolutely fantastic in that regard. It's on 180 gram vinyl, which adds to the premium feel, of course. And, I would have to say that the gatefold itself was on some of the highest quality board that I've experienced from a new release. All too often the board that it's printed on feels a little bit flimsy and a little bit thin, whereas this actually felt quite thick and had just added to that kind of premium feel about it. And while we don't have say some of the stuff that was on the Essentials release, where you've got all these kind of reflective elements and sort of speciality kind of printing added to it, it still feels like a very high quality gatefold pressing and release. I really enjoyed the booklet that came with it. I sat down and read that whilst I was listening to the record and whilst I was writing this review, so it gave me some food for thought and gave me a little bit of background about the whole piece, which again added to the whole experience. So it's another thumbs up from me. I think if you're wanting to explore, jazz, soul and blues and a lot of those classic elements, and you're really, a musician's person, then you're going to love a subscription to the Classics range. And this was a great introduction to that for me. So it's a thumbs up, really enjoyed the experience. I'm looking forward to exploring more of the Classics range as we go forward into more reviews in the future. So that's all we got time for today. Thanks ever so much for watching. To see what the latest releases are from VMP, I recommend heading to their website. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check that out in your own time. Also, please head to yoursoundmatters.com where you can check out some of our merch designs. I'm wearing one of those right here in this video. And our latest design that's just turned up is our Crate Diggers design that has the subtle kind of Crate Diggers logo on the chest here, and then on the reverse it says it's not hoarding if it's vinyl. So please do check that out in your own time. If you haven't already, please like and comment and subscribe to this video, and we'll see you in the next clip. Cheers, bye.